York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh and this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Breece Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Breece Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Ruckert, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet!
J-E-T-S, Jet.
Let's go! Yo, we are back and live here on Jets Media with my guy, Jack, is here to talk about the New York Jets and the 2022 draft. Everyone get hyped up in the chat. We love having you guys here. In today's show, we're going to talk about that the NFL media is hyping up the Jets where we don't have to do anything. We don't need to be called biased. We don't need to do anything else. It's backed up by the NFL media, and that's what we'll be talking about in today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed that brand new intro. I made that this morning. Jack, how you feeling today? You excited to talk about some Jets?
Very excited, my man. Very excited. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, very happy to be here, man. Very excited to talk some Jets. It's a good time for Jets fans all over the world. So, yeah, thanks for having me on.
Man, this is
Very
the
happy
first
to be
time having you on. First time having you on since the draft, so we get to get your thoughts of not only the first round, that's really where we only got to hear your thoughts of Hall and Ruckert and Mitchell and Clemons, so I'm excited to get your thoughts on everything. But before we get into all that, shout out to everybody in the chat. I hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. If you guys did not smash that thumbs up button, please make sure you do for your boy. I greatly appreciate that, so we get as many Jets fans and as many NFL fans in the stream to talk during the show. And if you guys didn't see, I came out with a new Jets rookie hype video that is on my channel. I came out with it yesterday, so if you guys did not watch that, make sure you do so later on because I put a lot of effort into it, and those are definitely my favorite videos to make every single year, and I'm sure Jets fans will enjoy it. And my intro is a little taste of it. I cut it up a little bit. But with that being said, let's get right into it, man. So first, Jack, I want to talk about the Jets being praised by the NFL media because usually it's the opposite. We're usually the ones getting clowned in the media. We're the ones that we draft this player and the media's like, what are the Jets thinking? What an absolute stupid pick by them. What a reach. What a bust. It's never this positive for the New York Jets from the NFL media. Jets fans are always, for the most part, optimistic, and we're going to fall in love with the draft picks no matter who it is, usually in the past couple of seasons. But this just feels different. So what's your thoughts? And I know that you tweeted this exact thing, and your tweet actually went viral, had over 1,000 likes. So what's your thoughts about the NFL media praising the Jets?
Yeah, it's just very, not very strange, not used to it at all. But it's just a testament to what Joe Douglas did with this draft, man. I haven't heard one negative thing about this Jets draft from anybody besides, Dolphins fans and Patriots fans and some scattered Bills fans here and there. But yeah, man, I think that, it's just a testament to Joe Douglas, and it's just very, it gives us a little taste of what it's going to be like when we're actually winning games this year and playing well on the field. And I just can't wait.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we need to win a draft and get praised by the media now before we can actually start winning games. Like, there's 2 steps to this. There's no way the Jets are going to be a sustainable, successful team without drafting properly. And we've always said that. Joe Douglas came here to build through the draft. His first draft definitely did not go as planned. Wasn't his best start to his tenure as Jets GM. Year number 2, we all feel like he still hit a home run last year with the acquisitions of Elijah Moore, Elijah Vera Tucker, Michael Carter II, and Zach Wilson's obviously the biggest X factor with that class. And then he comes away with his third draft class, which just looks like an absolute home run. I tweeted this out today, Jack. What if I told you last week that the New York Jets are going to be coming away with Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, and Jeremy Ruckert in this draft? Would you say I'm crazy, or would you believe me?
I would think that's impossible for any team to have done that, honestly. But I mean, especially if it was our team, if it was the Jets, definitely not. Definitely wouldn't have believed it. Because historically we do not draft well. We've had some successful drafts here and there scattered throughout the years, but now this is the second draft class in a row that looks like it could be a potential home run for Joe Douglas. So the fact that, Orlovsky said it was a franchise-changing draft, I love that because I really think it could be what puts this roster over the top in order for Zach Wilson to really shine. So very excited for what's to come. Hope all these guys stay healthy. And yeah, just an absolute gem of a draft, man. There's not a single pick that I don't like. And I just think I like I said, I would have been shocked if any team pulled off what the Jets did in this draft. But the fact that it's us, I'm still getting used to it. It still doesn't feel real sometimes, but I mean, it is, man. I cannot wait to see what this team can do on the football field.
And there's NFL fan bases looking at the Jets and they're jealous. They're like, oh my God, I wish we had that. I wish we had this. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, Jack, but you definitely have to watch it maybe after the stream. A Bills live stream. There was 4 of them live. And you know that Bills Mafia wanted Breece Hall so bad. I know Dan Mitchell was wanting to draft him at 25 in the first round. Bills Mafia was obsessed with Breece Hall. And then they posted their reaction on Twitter when the Jets drafted him, and they were so pissed off that the Jets drafted him, and it made it feel so much better because we got a star in Hall, and I'm excited to see what he can do. So, but getting into this offense real quick, and just a little heads up, guys, watch out for my new video coming out on the channel later on today. It's going to be me breaking down the new look Jets 22 offense, breaking down each position, breaking down the depth chart and the roster, what it looks like right now. Because, Jack, while I was making this video, I drew it out right here, actually, what it looks like for this Jets in every single position. This is the best offense on paper the Jets have had in so long. And the best part about it is it's not veterans that's going to be here for a couple years. They're all young. They're all part of the future. Majority of them are all draft picks from Joe Douglas. And also, each and every single player on this paper was a Joe Douglas acquisition. So what's your thoughts about the playmakers and the offensive line and the offense as a whole? We all know that Zach Wilson, it's all up to him, and he's the X factor of this team. But when it comes to the supporting cast outside of Zach Wilson, what's your thoughts of the receiving room, the running backs, tight ends, and offensive line?
I think that, it like everybody's been saying now, the narrative now is that it's all up to Zach. And, we all feel that way because the pieces seem to be pretty much in place, at least on paper. All these rookies still need to go out there and prove themselves, as well as, the second-year players like a Michael Carter and an ABT. They need to continue to prove themselves as well. Although we're obviously very thrilled with how they both played last year. But yeah, it really all comes down to Zach, but the supporting cast around him is night and day compared to what we gave Sam Darnold to work with. So I think that, Zach Wilson is clearly, the priority number one, and he's clearly also been given a huge chance to go out there and be successful this year. I'm absolutely in love with the combo of Michael Carter and Breece Hall. I love thinking about Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson growing together with Zach Wilson as well. And I love the fact that Jeremy Ruckert, a young, dynamic tight end who can pretty much do it all, is going to get the opportunity to learn from guys like Tyler Conklin and Uzoma, who have been in this league for some time doing their thing. So the tight end room has improved tenfold. And I just think we're in a phenomenal position, man. It's just got to, hopefully it all gels together on the field. Zach Wilson needs to take a step. But, I think that we're an 8 or 9 win team, if that happens, which is right where we need to be for this year. And then I'm happy, man. So it obviously it all comes down to Zach, but the supporting cast around him has increased in every way, really. I mean, the offensive line has improved, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers have all improved. So it's all up to Zach now, man.
And I think the biggest component as well that we didn't bring up about this offense that gives me even more confidence that they're going to be productive this year is the continuity factor of having LaFleur going into year number 2 and him being a rookie as well, or coming off his rookie season rather. Mike LaFleur is coming off his first season as a Jets offensive coordinator, and now Zach Wilson, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, Elijah Vera-Tucker, and all the other players on the roster from last year. They're going into year number 2 in the system, and continuity is such a big fact when it comes to young players. They don't have to worry about learning another playbook or learning another plays, and that's a big-time difference between what Sam Darnold had to go through and what Zach Wilson is going through right now. Sam had Todd Bowles. He comes into year number 2, has to learn an entire new system on top of not having good supporting cast. Zach Wilson is coming off his rookie season with the same coaching staff. Year number 2, same coaches, and it's even more playmakers. So that's something to keep an eye on, is the continuity factor of Mike LaFleur returning as a Jets offensive coordinator. And he definitely showed a lot of creativity in the back end of that season to get Jets fans excited about his potential as a Jets offensive coordinator. So now, Jack, I want to go pick by pick. I want to hear your thoughts by all the selections from the New York Jets. So when it comes to Sauce Gardner is undisputably, in everyone's eyes, even though he wasn't the first corner off the board, the best corner in the NFL draft by most. A lot of people are comparing him to be the Richard Sherman of the system because Saleh grew up in the Seattle defense with Pete Carroll and Sherman was over there, and he is just a prototype for that. What was your reaction when the pick was called, and what are your thoughts about it now and Sauce Gardner being a New York Jet?
Yeah, so the first disclaimer is that obviously if you guys saw the draft video of me and Richie, I wasn't exactly hyped when we first drafted Sauce because I was set on getting an edge, at least in those top 10 picks. And then when we took Garrett Wilson, I was shocked as well because I'm like, damn, we didn't go edge. We didn't go trenches at all, which was shocking, at least for a Joe Douglas draft, right? Because the record just shows that Joe Douglas likes to go for his trenchmen in the early in the draft, So that shocked me. But now looking at the first 3 picks, we couldn't have scripted it any better. We walk away with arguably the best player in the draft in Sauce Gardner, definitely the best defensive back, arguably the best player in the draft. He can. There's not one thing that he can't do as a cornerback. He's got incredible size for the position, incredible speed for somebody his size, strength at the line of scrimmage, awareness, tackling ability, literally everything you need from a cornerback. Sauce Gardner does, and he does it at a high level. So I think it was, looking at the first 3 picks now that we traded up and got our edge at pick 26, obviously. Couldn't have gone any better, man. So thrilled that we came away with Sauce Gardner. Yeah, man. Sauce is going to be saucing it up for a while.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner, as Joe Douglas would say, he's going to be a fan favorite. He's going to be locking down the right side of the field, and he's going to be a dynamic playmaker, someone that we're not going to hear a lot from, I feel like, just because he's going to be locking down that side. But when his name is called and the ball's thrown his way, he's going to be making plays, and he's also going to be blitzing the quarterback quite a bunch. And the best part about Sauce, in my opinion, is his size, his physicality. He's 6'3", he's long, he's athletic. They just don't build cornerbacks that way, which was what makes him such a unique prospect for the Jets. And his length is his biggest weapon. When you're on the perimeter and you're matched up against Sauce Gardner, even if you're a big receiver or a small receiver, that length is such a big factor. And what this system is all about with Saleh is when there's length on the perimeter in the secondary, that gives the pass rush extra time to get home. And that's what this system is all about, getting to the quarterback with length in the perimeter on the secondary to make this defensive system work. So let's hope that actually happens. So now New York Jets get Garrett Wilson in the best wide receiver in the NFL draft, Jack. So there's rumors actually that if, say, Sauce Gardner went 3 to Houston, that Garrett Wilson was going to be the pick at 4. That's how high they were on Garrett Wilson where if Sauce did not go, if Sauce was the pick at 3, they wouldn't have went Thibodeau. They wouldn't have went Jermaine Johnson. They wouldn't have went anybody else, but Garrett Wilson was their guy all along, and they were holding their breath. They actually almost traded up 1 pick to 9 to get Garrett Wilson to make sure he was a Jet, but they stayed put, and luckily he fell to them at number 10. They get the baller. Garrett Wilson comes from a background of basketball. He's freakishly athletic. He can do pretty much everything on the field, and he has Justin Jefferson level potential, where a lot of people around the league are expecting Garrett Wilson to be a rookie receiver that's impactful in year number 1. But the one thing I will say is pump the brakes. He's going to have his rookie bumps. He's going to have a couple drops. He's going to have a miscue at Zach Wilson, and we're going to be like, okay, Garrett Wilson, it's your rookie season, right? But at the same time, I'm definitely expecting him to have a big-time rookie season. So what's your thoughts of getting Garrett Wilson, and do you feel like he's going to be the number 1 receiver for the foreseeable future in this offense?
I do, honestly, man. I think he's a big-time player coming from a big-time system at Ohio State, obviously. He was an absolute touchdown machine in college. He's got breakaway speed. His route running is as crispy as anyone's. And I think my favorite thing about Garrett Wilson's game is his ability to create separation, which at the next level is everything. Because, you know, as we know, the what's considered open in college rarely even happens in the NFL. You know, the window of what's considered open shrinks drastically when you get to the next level. So Garrett Wilson's ability to create separation, obviously due to his speed off the line, his route running abilities, his quickness overall, absolutely phenomenal. And obviously his hands. I just think he's another player where there's really not any weaknesses to his game that we have seen yet. And, you know, he's a do-it-all guy, certainly has potential to be a number 1 receiver. And again, certainly has potential, like not just fans are saying, but like, you know, NFL, ESPN analysts are saying, you know, he has potential to be a crazy impactful player as a rookie. You know, I think he does have that Justin Jefferson potential, that Jamar Chase potential. Maybe not as insane as Jamar Chase, because that's just extremely rare. But, you know, to come in as a rookie and instantly make a huge difference and become a star player, I really do think he has that potential. And especially alongside a player like Elijah Moore, who you need to respect as well, if you're an opposing defense. So I think the fact that we'll have these two guys running around together out there, throw in Corey Davis in the mix, who's a more than capable veteran, who will obviously be freed up as well because he won't be the number 1 target by any means. He'll be the number 3 target. And I think it's a match made in heaven for Zach Wilson, man. And I'm so excited to see what Garrett Wilson can do.
And Barrios in the slot. Can't forget about Braxton coming back. I feel like he's going to be a fun time as well. And, yeah, man, Garrett Wilson, great breakdown. I just feel like Jets fans are going to be in love when this man actually gets on the field and shows off his athleticism. I remember when he was a true freshman at Ohio State, he made a big-time play in the playoffs, went up there and grabbed the ball, and that's where his name really went on the map, and that's where Garrett Wilson's name was really like, oh, he might be special. And then he went out there in sophomore year, did his thing, and then junior year, which was last year, he absolutely went crazy, 12 touchdowns, and led the Ohio State to everything. So Garrett Wilson, welcome to the Jets, and I could not be more happy that we were able to bring you in the building. Now, getting into probably Jack's favorite player, as you saw in the reaction, Jermaine Johnson was the guy that Jack and I wanted, just like Elijah Vera Tucker last year. And I am super pumped up that he's a Jet. So, Jack, what's your thoughts and expectations from Jermaine Johnson II?
I want to say Jermaine is not my favorite player that we drafted.
All right.
But,
we'll get into that.
But the edge position I thought was a necessity to grab, you know, with a premier pick, which we ended up doing. So it just went beautifully. But Jermaine Johnson, you know, was I'm still scratching my head as to why he fell to where he did. I mean, he was, you know, a top 10 player on Daniel Jeremiah's board, on Mel Kiper's board. He was, you know, a bona fide right up there with, you know, a Hutchinson or a Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson, Trayvon Walker. You know, it was really tough to gauge, you know, especially as time got on and we got closer to the draft. It was really tough to gauge, you know, who was going to be the quote unquote best edge rusher from this draft class, and time will tell, But I think Jermaine Johnson has all of the qualities that you want from that position that the other edges from this draft class show as well. His speed off the line, the use of his hands, his nose for the football. I think he'll be amazing on passing downs. The one arguable weakness to his game could be him against the run, but I'm just excited to see him play ball, man. I think, again, he's one of those type of do-it-all players, and I think he's perfect for a Robert Saleh system. He's got the swag, just like Sauce. He was the best-dressed player at the draft, for sure. I just love everything about this dude, man, and I think that he's perfect for what we're trying to build here. And the fact that we were able to get up and grab him at 26 and still keep pick 38 in the mix, I just think, the first round was just an absolute home run from Joe Douglas. Like, there's no two ways about it. So Jermaine Johnson as well, man, super stoked that he's a Jet. Obviously, we got the chance to coach him up at Senior Bowl week. He impressed so much that he didn't even feel the need to play in the game at the end of the week. And clearly we were impressed enough to trade up back into the first round and grab him at 26. So I couldn't be more excited that he's here. And I think he'll be a great addition to this young defense. And I'm ready to see him ball out, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Jermaine Johnson is going to be probably like the player that Robert Saleh is going to be just developing the most. And I feel like he finally got his blue chip defensive player. And is this Robert Saleh's first time getting two blue chip players actually in the draft, because Joe Douglas went all offense last year with all of his premier picks in Zach Wilson, both Elijahs and Michael Carter. Now he gets two blue chip first round picks to develop in Jermaine Johnson and Sauce Gardner. And I'm super excited to see what happens there. Guys, if you're just tuning into the stream and you did not hit that like button, please make sure you do so. We got 131 people tuning in with 34 likes. If you guys are enjoying the show and you're happy that the New York Jets drafted all these players that they did in the draft, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We got a 100 like goal for the end of the stream. So please, if you do not already, greatly means a lot to the channel to get as many Jets fans, NFL fans in here to talk some Jets football. So now, Jack, I'm sorry, you did correct me. Now we're getting into your favorite player in the draft, and that goes by the name of Breece Hall from Iowa State, who had 24 straight games with a touchdown, who was the best running back in the draft, who was a home run three-point shooter that can take the ball to the house at any single time you give him the ball. And now we have a dynamic duo of Breece Hall and Michael Carter that is going to be so fun to watch. What's your thoughts of this pick for the Jets to even consider, first of all, trading back into the first round? And let me just educate you on something real quick, Jack. Remember the report that the Jets tried to trade back in for Breece Hall? Well, apparently that package they were trying to do would have been the rest of the picks. Joe Douglas loved Breece Hall so much that he would have gave up the rest of our picks, no Jeremy Ruckert, no Max Mitchell, and no Michael Clemons, if we traded back into the first round for Hall. So the fact that the Jets were still able to get Hall, they moved up one pick to sacrifice a fifth rounder, and that tells you how much they loved him, his potential on this team. So what's your thoughts of them being aggressive to try to trade up in the first round and actually pulling off that trade to move up one spot to get the best running back in the draft?
I mean, can you imagine if that was our draft? Joe Douglas drafted 4 studs in the first round, and that was it, dude. That would have been the most legendary thing ever. But you know what? We still got Breece Hall, and we got Jeremy Ruckert, and we got Max, and we got Michael Clemons. You know what, dude? I don't even know how any of this is real. You said it, man. I think Breece Hall is my favorite player that we drafted this year. Undisputed number 1 running back coming out of college this year. And another guy, I think the 4th guy we're talking about now who really, can do it all. He has phenomenal catching hands for a running back, as you see in his highlight tape and your hype video that you put out yesterday. And from a running perspective, he looks like he can be, a arguable top 10 fantasy back in his rookie year, man. I mean, he's got crazy burst, crazy vision. His ability to make people miss in the open field is phenomenal. And the fact that he's going to be, splitting time with Michael Carter, I think it's going to bring out the best in Michael Carter. I think that's going to bring out the best in Breece Hall. I think they're going to be working off each other, growing together. And, again, lightening the load for Zach Wilson is what this is all about. So the fact that we can go and pick up a stud like Breece Hall, who, again, is undisputedly thought of as the best running back in this draft class, I mean, you couldn't be any more stoked about it, man. You could not be any more stoked about it. So I think Breece Hall might be potentially the most impactful player of this draft class next year. Maybe Garrett Wilson ends up becoming that down the line. Maybe Jermaine Johnson ends up becoming that down the line. Maybe Sauce Gardner ends up becoming that down the line. Who knows? But I think Breece Hall is an absolute stud. I think he's going to be a monster in year one. And I think that, there's really nothing he can't do from a running back perspective. So super hyped to have him on board. And I know Zach Wilson is. Clearly Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas and the whole organization are. So I'm just ready to see him eat, man.
Yeah, I think that if I would pick one player in this class that I have the most confidence to be really good as a rookie, it's Breece Hall. I mean, the running back position is one of those positions that the rookies always pop off, whether it's a third-round pick, fourth round, fifth, sixth. It doesn't matter. Running backs, for whatever reason, are just ready to roll immediately. And, like, the prime of the running back's career is usually on the rookie contracts. If you ever noticed that, whenever running backs get on their second contracts, they kind of lose gas for whatever reason. They're fresh. Breece Hall is 3 years under his belt at Iowa State, playing just football that you're just looking at him like, wow. I mean, he just makes people miss. His spin moves, his vision, his footwork, his burst, his elusiveness, his balance, his hands. I mean, he literally is a running back that you build in a lab, and I cannot believe that Joe Douglas was able to get him as well as all these other playmakers. And I feel like Jets fans are going to fall in love with the dynamic of Hall and Carter, because I always brought this up, but Carter is a guy that is used to splitting carries with Javonte Williams in college. And Javonte Williams was the star at UNC. Michael Carter was the star too. And now Javonte Williams is a star on the next level. Michael Carter is a perfect number 1B running back. Now, this is not a knock on Michael Carter. We all knew that Michael Carter was a steal of the draft last year. He was a sleeper in the fourth round. He is a phenomenal player for this Jets offense. But I think we all knew that he wasn't a guy that we can give 20, 25 carries to. We needed to bring in a compliment to him. And how about a compliment of a guy who can handle a workload of 20, 25 carries in Breece Hall? That dynamic duo is going to be so beautiful because their play styles are so different and they're going to complement each other so well. And oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to finally see these two play. Jacob with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, Jacob. I appreciate the super chat. What's up, fellas? Jets fan here in Kentucky. Love watching the reaction on draft night. What's y'all realistic win-loss this coming season? Jacob, I appreciate you tuning in all the way from Kentucky. Way to represent Jets Nation in Kentucky. Let's go. I love this and appreciate the donation, my man. So, Jack, I'll swing this to you. I always said I'm not giving any win-loss predictions until the draft is over, and the draft is now over, so now I can actually say it. So, in a perfect world, a realistic way, you get this right, you win money, not your hopeful thinking, right? So, what's your realistic prediction on a win-loss this coming season?
Well, as we've all said, it hinges on the performance of Zach Wilson at this point. So assuming that Zach Wilson takes that next step that we all hope he does, I am saying that the New York Jets are going to go 9-8 next year.
Sign me up.
Sign me the F up, man.
That's positive, baby. That's a positive record. That's a potential wildcard berth. Or if not, we're the 8th seed in 9-8, and then the next year's when we go for the division, baby.
Yep.
9-8. That's a great prediction. I'm gonna go 8-9. I prefer 9-8 though. So yeah, I feel like the Jets definitely have a big time potential to win a lot of ball games this year, and this offense is the biggest reason for that. And I think Zach Wilson is the biggest component, but there's another component that's the most important to the winning. You know what that is? Health. Staying healthy. It's all about literally two things: Zach Wilson's development and people staying healthy or not. If we get banged up like we did last year, then we'll see. But the one thing I will say, even if we do get banged up this year, I love the quality depth on this roster to the point where for example, the cornerback room is all of a sudden the deepest position on this team, where we have Bryce Hall and Brennan Eccles last year being the two starting cornerbacks. And we all thought that that was the bright spot of the defense last year. And now those two guys are backups. And they got all the experience to the point where when their name is called, if one of DJ Reed or Sauce has to go down with an injury, I have all the confidence in the world in Hall and Eccles to step in there. And that's just an example of one position with depth. You know, the only two positions we can say that does not have a lot of depth is safety and linebacker. Outside of that, I'm pretty pumped up about the depth on this roster. Let's hope that we can stay healthy and have a smooth season, and Zach Wilson can at least take a step and play good football.
For sure, man.
Jacob with another $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, also, where did you snag your helmet behind you? Oh, I got this helmet on, I think, the Jets website. It's not a helmet you can put on. It's a replica helmet, actually. So it's a little thing right here. It's a nice little Jets replica helmet. They also sell the ones you can put on. But this one, you can put on. And I got this one when I was really young. And actually, Jeremy Ruckert has the same exact helmet. I don't know if you guys saw that picture of Jeremy Ruckert as a child. But this is the exact helmet he was wearing. And here's the picture if anybody was curious of when I did get the helmet, just so you get an idea of how young I actually was. It's me on Christmas. That's me. Like, I don't even know how old I am, but that's me with that helmet. And, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that me and Jeremy Ruckert have the same exact helmet. And speaking of Jeremy Ruckert, let's get right into Jeremy Ruckert, because he's the next man that I want to talk about. And, Jack, I need to tell you something about Ruckert before I get your thoughts, because you're going to laugh. I was laughing hysterically. So Joe Douglas was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday, and you got to watch that. First of all, Rich Eisen.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It was fantastic. And they were talking about Jeremy Ruckert, and Joe Douglas said that during the Senior Bowl, Joe Douglas and Ron Middleton, they're just talking, right? Ron Middleton was the head coach of the Senior Bowl, and he's also the Jets tight end coach. And Jeremy Ruckert runs up to Joe Douglas and Ron Middleton, and he says to them, hey guys, I just want to say I'm so happy that like you guys are the coaches here, because like I don't know if you know this, but I'm from New York and I'm a huge Jets fan, and this is awesome that you guys are here. So I just want to say like this is sick that the Jets are coaching this. Like, it's the funniest thing ever. That's exactly what I would do.
That's dope. That's exactly what I would do in that position as well.
Right? Like if you were like in college and the Jets were coaching, I would easily go up and say, just so you guys know, I'm literally from Long Island. I grew up a Jets fan like that. And then Joe Douglas said to him, like, yeah, we know that already. We already know that.
We know that. We're doing our homework on you.
Yeah, I literally just thought that was so funny. I was laughing so hard because he's so Long Island. He just has that Long Island look to him. Jeremy Ruckert, I'm so happy you're a Jet. So let's get into this pick, Jack. Me and you, we both wanted a tight end in this draft desperately. We fell in love with We fell in love with Trey McBride, and we fell in love with Jeremy Ruckert. And we both said in the Senior Bowl, one of these men have to be a Jet. And we did not get McBride, but we still get Ruckert, who's a Long Island native, who's a player in Ohio State, who's a run blocker machine, was not able to get a lot of looks in the offense because of guys like Garrett Wilson, who's now his teammate, and Chris Olave took all the targets away from Jeremy Ruckert. But when his name was called in the passing game, he showed flashes of one-handed catches and crazy catch radius. Chris Sims has Jeremy Ruckert as his number one tight end in the entire draft. Some other people has him as at least top 2, top 3 tight end in the draft. So what's your thoughts about the New York Jets getting a player in Jeremy Ruckert in the end of the third round while still having CJ and Tyler Conklin on the roster?
I mean, listen, man, I'll say it again. Jeremy Ruckert is another player that can do it all. He can block. He has speed. He has hands. He has route running. He has awareness and IQ for the game. He's a Jets fan. He's from Long Island like me and Richie. So, I mean, I'm super stoked on Jeremy Ruckert. It really feels like it's just like a fantasy. Like, how did this happen? I really don't understand how we're like every single player that we're mentioning now is like somebody that like we wanted as a realistic option for the Jets, like a Jeremy Ruckert, or like Sauce Gardner with you, for example, who like was like arguably your favorite player in the whole draft class, but you never thought we would have a chance at getting him.
Yeah,
here we are. So it's just like, I mean, it's fantastic, man. And the fact, what I mentioned at the beginning of the stream as well, with when it comes to Jeremy Ruckert, the fact that we have, you know, guys like Tyler Conklin and Uzoma in this tight end room now for Ruckert to learn from and develop under. I think it's, invaluable as well. And I just think that it's another testament to what Joe Douglas is trying to build here. Identifying our needs and our weaknesses and filling those holes and doing it in the draft. So that this, we have these guys on cheap deals for, the next few years to come at the least. So, Joe Douglas is just building it how it's supposed to be built. And the Jeremy Ruckert pick is absolutely perfect. Great value as well for where we got him in the draft. So home run pick.
I think Jeremy Ruckert might be my favorite pick, actually, just because of the whole Long Island connection and seeing that reaction. It just hits differently for me. It's just like, I love him, and I'm just really excited to see what he does with the Jets. V-Man with the $5 super chat says, Jets on paper have a better roster than the Patriots. I cannot wait till September. Jack, what are your thoughts about V-Man saying that the Jets have a better roster than the Patriots? Do you expect us to be better than the Patriots or not because they still got Bill Belichick?
I think V-Man is just spitting facts, man. I think that our roster is 100% better than the Patriots. The Patriots are riding with Cole Strange. And hopefully he's the player they think he's going to be. Hopefully he's not the player they think he's going to be, actually. I don't give a crap what happens in New England. But yeah, man, I think it's an incredible time. Hopefully it's time that obviously the Bills have the current, have a current hold on the division now for the last few years. But, Belichick is goated in his own right. So, I think it's time for the Patriots to officially be dethroned now and have a little taste.
Imagine the Patriots are actually like fourth
division.
Can you imagine the Patriots are fourth in the division and the Jets are third?
As of right now, on paper, dude, the Patriots are fourth in the division.
I know.
Based on current rosters and offseason that are made.
But at the same time, for me, and Jets fans probably don't want to hear this because, screw the Patriots. But the Patriots did make the playoffs last year. The Patriots still have Bill Belichick. They don't usually have big-name players. It's usually the structure of Bill Belichick and their system, for whatever reason, is just goated. So don't sleep on the Patriots too much. I don't think they're going to be a terrible team. But there's no denying that they did not do anything this offseason that makes you worried about the Patriots of them improving. That's the one thing I will say. Eric with the $5 super chat says, back again from LA. Appreciate you tuning in, Eric from LA. Appreciate the $5 super chat. You should pull up our opponents and predict game by game. We have a tough schedule. Those away games, yikes. Yeah, Eric, I actually looked at the opponents recently and went over it in my head. I'm actually going to do this when the schedule drops in a couple of weeks. I think it's May 12th. That's when we actually get a good idea of when we're versing who, like who's week 1, who's week 2, what primetime games we have. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a whole video, maybe go live when the schedule drops to go week by week and schedule and predict the wins and the losses for the Jets. But, Eric, I appreciate the donation, my man, and it means a lot to the channel.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Eric.
So, guys, if you're just tuning in, we have over 200 people tuning into the show with 71 likes. If you want to help me out to get my goal of 100 likes, do that. Smash that thumbs up button for your boy. And I also want to say, I forgot to mention, thank you guys so much. I just hit a new milestone on the channel, just hit 11,000 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting Jets Media from the start. Or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Jets Media family. We got a nice little community here connecting with all Jets fans across the world. And it means a lot that you guys are tuning in and supporting Jets Media on YouTube because this is what I love to do. And without you guys, none of this is possible.
Amen, man. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It's always a lot of fun coming on here and talking some Jets, especially now when we just have nothing but positive things to talk about.
Let's go.
Feels like we just went 17-0.
Yeah, it seriously did. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be able to have these type of drafts and these type of off seasons before we can start winning games. We can't just lose drafts and everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Jets, yeah, they had an okay draft and expect them to, like, win. We needed to have this type of off season where last year the draft class at the time we were getting solid grades. We weren't getting A+ all across the boards. But I remember last year people were giving us B+, A-. They were all like, it all hinges on, all hinges on Zach Wilson. And they love the AVT pick, majority of the NFL media. They love the Elijah Moore pick. But this year's different because it's like undisputed across the world. Joe Douglas hit a home run, and Joe Douglas is like being interviewed by everybody. I don't know if you noticed that, Jack, but Joe Douglas is now the hot commodity for like NFL podcasts. They're like, we need to get Joe Douglas on the show so we can figure out how the hell that he pulled this off. You got to watch the Rich Eisen interview, because when Rich Eisen's asking these questions, it's kind of like us right now. Like, how did this happen? And Rich is like putting him through it. He's like, yeah, Joe, how did you do this? How did you do that? And he's like, wait, is this real? Like, how did Rich Eisen is such a great representation of Jets fans, and I feel like you definitely love that.
That's so great.
Jacob with another $5 super chat. Jacob, I appreciate you, my man, all the way from Kentucky. Was listening to Bart and Han earlier. Bart Scott has Patriots 4th this year, with us and Miami a close second behind Buffalo. I think we won up Miami, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Miami's a very interesting team. They definitely improved across the board. Playmakers, Tyreek Hill, of course, is a big-time acquisition. Their defense is always going to be good, and they have a brand-new coaching staff there. And I think it all really hinders on Tua Tagovailoa as their quarterback, if the Dolphins are going to be good or not. But it's good to hear that Bart and Han and Bart Scott is high on the Jets, and he has the Patriots at 4th. Jack, what's your thoughts about Bart Scott having the Patriots 4th this year, with Miami and the Jets being a close second to Buffalo?
I think it's, I just said that a couple minutes ago. So I think that, it's got high potential to be the case. I mean, obviously we're biased as Jets fans, but as of right now, we know what the Patriots are coming off of last year. They somehow managed to throw together a playoff caliber season. But I think that we are kind of already seeing the ceiling of Mac Jones. So I think that that's the Patriots that we can expect. And I think that until they start to add some real bona fide playmakers to their roster, that they're going to become an easy team to beat and an easy team to game plan for, because Mac Jones is so one-dimensional and their offense as a whole is pretty one-dimensional. And now we're also kind of forgetting that Josh McDaniels, their longtime offensive coordinator, is finally gone. And now he's down in Houston. So
Raiders.
I think that the Patriots are going to be a very different looking team this year. At least that's just my Jets bias talking. But right now we're definitely winning the offseason. And I think that a team like Miami and like New England, like, they need to watch out, man. I think that this is our time now to really make our mark. And that's another reason why the Sauce Gardner pick was brilliant and kind of necessary looking at it now, because we got Tyreek Hill that we're going to be playing twice a year now, and Jalen Waddle on the same team, and Stephon Diggs up in Buffalo. So it's I think that we're once again hopefully going to be competitive within the AFC East, which is what I've been dying for years now. It's just, can we win a damn game within our own division at least? I think that time is finally upon us now. So I think that could be accurate from Bart Scott.
Like, can we go 3-3?
Bias from Bart Scott, though, for sure. Bart reps hard always.
Oh yeah,
but
I would love to go 3-3 in the division in a perfect world, but at least give me 2 wins. Give me 2 wins in the division. Okay, Buffalo might sweep us. I think we do have a chance to maybe win one of those games. But we got to beat the Patriots at least once, and we definitely got to beat the Dolphins at least once, because if we get swept by all of them again, then it'll be a big time nightmare, because it's all about the division, man. It's all about winning against your division. That's what this is all about, and hopefully the Jets can actually, close the gap, which is what Robert Saleh has been preaching this entire offseason, of how the New York Jets can close the gap with people, and not only in their division, but in the conference, in the do basis, not by replicating what other teams are doing, but how we can get better as a team to make sure that we're on the map, where people are looking at us as a threat. Let's be a threat, all right? Let's be a team that fans are looking at like, oh, we're versing the Jets. I don't want to verse them. They got Sauce. They got Garrett. They got Zach Wilson, hopefully, who was a good quarterback at that time. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is a big-time, blissful experience for the New York Jets fan base, because we basically won the draft. Now it's up to this entire franchise to, actually put it all together and win some ball games, because that's next. So, Jack, let's get into the final 2 picks of the draft, and Max Mitchell and Michael Clemons. So they had 2 picks left top of the fourth round, both of those picks. Max Mitchell was a player who, is looked at as a versatile offensive lineman who is a guy that's going to be developing, not really ready to play right away. I feel like he could potentially be the starting tackle in not this year, but next year if George Fant's not extended. He's a versatile piece that could play guard, center, all over the line. He was at the Senior Bowl, so obviously the Jets got an up-close personal look at him. So what's your thoughts about the Jets going offensive line in the top end of the fourth round in Max Mitchell?
I think it's a good move. Obviously, the whole Mekhi Becton saga over the past year has shown us that this is a position that we need depth in, and I think Max Mitchell was drafted for that exact reason. I totally agree with equal yet different. His hands are definitely what stand out the most from his tape, and I think that if he's in this room with other guys like Fant and like Becton, hopefully he can develop into a nice depth piece. And who knows, maybe one day Max Mitchell will be our starting right tackle. Who knows? I think it's a good move.
Yeah, me too. In best case scenario as well, he could be the swing tackle for the long term, where he's the guy that comes in and he's the backup forever. And we need depth. And I feel like the one thing about this offensive line that worries me, and it's nothing against the players that are on the roster, is the depth behind the starters. And I feel like that's what Max Mitchell does. It creates insurance at that tackle spot in case one of Becton or Fant has to go down. But this offensive line on paper, though, what gets me the most excited about this offensive line is the guards. Lincoln Tomlinson, Pro Bowler, AVT, Pro Bowl potential. That's going to be the anchor of this offensive line, especially in the run game. Moving people, pulling. And I cannot wait to see what happens this upcoming season. So, Jack, let's get into the last player, Michael Clemons. I feel like he's a player that, first of all, let me get into Eric Super Chat. He says 6-11 record, 2-4 in our division realistically. Yeah, Eric, that is possible as well. I think 6 wins is the bare minimum. So let's see what happens there. Appreciate the donation. Michael Clemons is a player from Texas A&M that is a violent player, screams off the edge, doesn't really have speed, doesn't really have bend, but he's known for power and can just dominate you one-on-one. If you get your tackle off balance, he's going to literally throw you to the ground and decapitate the quarterback. I think he is the prototypical Robert Saleh edge rusher. What's your thoughts about this pick, the last pick of the 2022 draft for the Jets?
Yeah, I love it, man. Obviously, another, not necessarily a complete player in terms of what he can and can't do. But, I think he'll, similar to Max Mitchell, is a fantastic developmental piece at a position that we're not very deep at. And, I think that his strength and his tenacity when he plays, are a big reason why Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas chose to bring him in. The effort that he gives when he plays really stands out when you watch his tape. And although his game is not complete, his strength and his quickness off the line, I think is there's definitely something to be said for that. And he's just scary looking as well. I would not, if I was a quarterback, I would not want Michael Clemons to be coming after me. So I think, again, he's just, going to be a nice piece in there to develop alongside some of these young guys. Obviously, he's not going to be the go-to guy. That's going to be Jermaine Johnson or Carl Lawson or maybe Franklin Myers, who knows. Yeah, man, I definitely like the pick a lot. And I think that he has the potential to develop into another nasty piece to bring in there on passing downs.
Yeah, man, I think Michael Clemons is going to be that player that could potentially develop. And now all of a sudden we can say with confidence that the defensive line is the deepest part of this entire team. I mean, if you look at it on paper, we have Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, as we would say, the starting 4. Behind them, we have Vinny Curry, who we brought back. Hopefully he could be healthy this year. Sheldon Rankin, Solomon Thomas, Jacob Martin. And then on the third level, we have Bryce Huff, Jonathan Marshall, and Michael Clemons. And throw in Zuniga in there, who was a draft pick 3 years ago. It could be a practice squad player. So what's your thoughts, Jack, of this defensive line's depth chart and your expectations for them this year? It's going to be a pretty heavy rotation of all the guys I just mentioned.
Yeah, it is, man. I think it's going to be something special to look at. I think it's finally going to be the defensive front that we've been yearning for a couple years now. Well, for longer than a couple years, but ever since we drafted Quinnen Williams, I think we kind of expected this defensive line as a whole to just explode, and it hasn't gotten to where it really needs to be on a consistent level yet. I think this is finally the year that happens. And I think this is exactly what Robert Saleh wants in his defense. It's exactly what he had during his time in San Francisco as a D coordinator. And it's exactly what he's getting now. A constant rotation of guys that can all play their part, that are versatile in terms of the positions they can play, most of them at least. And I think that it's the perfect defensive front, perfect group of guys for Robert Saleh to play with. And to plug in certain guys where he wants them and certain guys in other spots. And I think it's just, he's got a really good mix of talent now. So I think that this is finally the year that the defensive line as a whole could come to life.
And that is, like you said, the most important piece of this entire Jets defense is that defensive line. So let's hope it gets to that next level. V-Man with the $5 super chat says, Jets season depends on how well the roster clicks. If everything clicks, we're looking at a wild card push. If not, we're around 500. By the way, I love to talk. V-Man, I appreciate the $5 donation, my man, and I agree. I feel like that it is all about the chemistry. And the one thing I will say about this team last year, even though the wins weren't there and the production wasn't there, I feel like everybody clicked on another level chemistry-wise, and hopefully that happens again this year. And V-Man, we're not going to be taking callers in this stream, but we will be doing that in the future. So you'll be the first one on the list for when we do take callers. V-Man, you are indeed the man as always. So to finish off the stream, guys, I want to just show you one last thing that is all about the draft grades. Because what I was saying about the draft, everybody saying that the Jets got a home run draft was real. It wasn't just me talking out of my you-know-what. Look at this. Chad Reuter for NFL, grade A. Washington Post, grade A. Sports Illustrated, grade A. USA Today, A+. CBS Sports, B+. Mel Kiper, ESPN, A. PFF, A-. Bleacher Report, A. CBS, A. Jeremy Fowler doesn't have a grade, but he's talking up on him. The Sporting News, A+. So this just shows you that what this video title is about isn't just me speaking nonsense saying like, yeah, the Jets get an A. I'm not saying that the Jets get an A in my book, which they do, but they're getting an A in everybody else's book around the league, all media across the NFL, and that's what I'm most excited about for this Jets team. So, Jack, I know that you got to roll. I just saw your text. My bad.
All good, man.
Anything you'd like to say before we get going? I know you got to get to work.
Yeah, I do got to get to work, but thanks so much for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. And the Jets absolutely killed the draft. Joe Douglas is a king. And I couldn't be happier to see what these guys are about to do on the field. And we're about to win significantly more games this year than we've won. At least last year. Somehow we went 7-9 in Adam Gase's first year, but that still just feels like one big, long fever dream. So I think this is finally the year that we put the league back on notice. We're back up in a big way. Thank you for having me on, brother. Thank you to everybody in the chat for supporting the channel. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace out, Jack. Always a pleasure having you on. Talk to you later, bro.
Peace.
Peace out. So, yeah, guys, I am super pumped up about this Jets draft, obviously. I feel like what we can do is realize that the Jets actually are getting praise from the people that matter the most all around the NFL. And I'm super excited that this Jets team is pulling off something that we've been waiting for years, is to build through the draft properly and is to also do it in back-to-back years. Last year, the New York Jets did a great job in the draft. Now this year, the New York Jets have done even a better job in the draft. Pretty crazy stuff. I am so pumped up. I'll open this up to a Jets Q&A to finish off the stream. So if you guys in the chat have anything you want me to talk about, let me know. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. Anything regarding the Jets, anything regarding the draft, whether anything regarding the New York Jets topic or even the NFL. And of course, Super Chats go first, so you get to skip the line. So any questions that you guys may have, let me know. And also, big announcement, the AFC Roundtable is back. The AFC East Roundtable will be live tomorrow night, and I need all of you guys to be ready to support Jets Nation in the chat. I need Jets Nation to be loud in the chat tomorrow night on Dan Mitchell's channel at 7 p.m. I'm going to say it again, all 165 people in the stream right now, please make sure that you mark your calendars. I'll put it on my community tab so you know where the link is, but we'll be live on Dan Mitchell's channel. And for those of you guys that don't know what the AFC East Roundtable is, it's me, a Dolphins, Patriots, and Bills YouTuber, all four of us. We go on and we debate about the division, and we're going to be recapping the draft. And we need Jets Nation to be so loud in the chat where they understand that we're coming. So that'll be tomorrow night on Dan Mitchell's channel. I'll give you guys all the information on my community tab and all my social media platforms on Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you guys follow me over there. Again, that is at Dan Mitchell's channel, who's a Buffalo Bills YouTuber. So please make sure you guys are loud because we need Jets Nation to be heard, baby. Love it. So with that being said, we're going to be open this up to a Jets Q&A. Any questions you got in the chat, let me know. King Jamie's in the chat. Predicted win-loss ratio. I'm going to go 8-9. 8-9 is my predicted win-loss ratio right now before seeing the actual schedule of when reversing who. I will not be on the Jets panel tonight, my man. Not going to be on there. Let's see. Any other questions in the chat? Make sure you let me know. Thank you, Adam Gase, for Joe Douglas. That is true. We got to give Adam Gase some credit. Because if you don't give Adam Gase credit, then we don't have any Joe Douglas, baby. Nah, in all seriousness, it's funny, though. What are your expectations for our rookies? Pedro, I have a lot of high expectations for the rookies. Especially the first-round picks as well as Breece Hall. I feel like those four rookies in Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine, and Hall, those four guys we should all have high expectations for in the rookie season. Sauce Gardner will be a starter. Jermaine Johnson will be part of the rotation. Garrett Wilson will be a starter, and Hall will be a starter. I feel like we should expect them to have their rookie mistakes. They're not going to be stars right away. And Jets fans need to ground themselves and understand that just because you won the draft doesn't mean that all these players are going to be Pro Bowl, All-Pro right away. We're hopeful that they develop into those Pro Bowl caliber players. They're not going to be that good immediately. I mean, they could, you never know. But these rookie class, it's more about the future than it is about going into the Super Bowl this year. And that's what Jets fans need to realize. When I'm talking about the Jets winning the draft and the Jets getting A's across the board, does that mean we're going to win 12 games this year? No. That means we're going to win 12 games in 2023 and beyond. That's what that means. So make sure you keep that in mind. And I love it. Let's see. What time is the roundup? The roundup will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Dan Mitchell's channel, who is the Buffalo Bills content creator. Yo, Richie, nice coverage of the draft. Thank you, man. All DT edge we got. I say they got full throttle on each and change entire D-line, just like in hockey, plus better secondary. Quarterbacks will hold ball a little longer. Yeah, man, I feel like what the Jets did in the draft is going to be a big reason why the New York Jets are going to be a successful franchise for the future, in my opinion. I feel like what they've been doing is building from the front back, and we see it becoming it's going to be fun to watch, man. Name the teams we beat out of the 8 wins you're predicting. I'll save this for when my video comes out of when the schedule drops. Don't you worry. Let's see. Baltimore Ravens won the damn draft. They did win the damn draft, Aaron. And the Baltimore Ravens did a phenomenal job in the draft. And just so you guys don't know, Joe Douglas came from Baltimore. He learned under the Baltimore Ravens, and he comes from there. So you can see why the Ravens won the draft. Also, he comes from the Philadelphia Eagles, and you can say that the Philadelphia Eagles also had a hell of a draft, getting A.J. Brown and Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean and all those players. So Joe Douglas came from two organizations that you can say had the best drafts in the NFL in Philadelphia and Baltimore, which is pretty sick. Garrett Wilson, number 1 receiver. Hell yeah. Fins up. Can't wait for the roundtable tomorrow night. Love what y'all doing over there. F Buffalo and Patriots. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. I'm excited to be on the AFC East roundtable, and I appreciate you showing support to the Jets Nation, baby. How many wins do we need for JD not to be on the hot seat? Bart, in my opinion, I do not think Joe Douglas will ever be on the hot seat this season. Simply because, well, I guess if they literally go like two wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, then maybe. But something astronomical has to happen for Joe Douglas to be on the hot seat. Because why? Because what I'm trying to say is Douglas has done his job, right? It's up to the coaching staff now. And it's up to the quarterback to get this thing turned in the right direction. Joe Douglas and his staff did his job. Would you guys want to move on from Joe Douglas and not have him for the 2023 NFL draft? Because I want Joe Douglas as our GM for the 2023 draft. So I would say he would definitely, I'll say this, we need to definitely start like 3-2 at least, or 2-3, not like 1-5. This is a good take. If Zach flops, I still want Joe Douglas. I agree. If Zach does flop in the next 2 years and he doesn't prove to be the guy, I have confidence in giving Joe Douglas another chance at it, because what he's shown to me is a general manager that knows value, knows cap flexibility, and knows how to acquire talent. Richie, do you think we get J.C. Treader now? You never know. Last year we got Morgan Moses after the draft. You never know what happens. And Joe Douglas said that there's a next wave of free agency that they're going to be preparing for now. So anything could happen. And reminder, Zach is the franchise. So Matthew, let's not even talk about if Zach flopping, because he's not going to flop, baby. Listen to Felipe. Jacob with another $5 donation. Thank you so much, my brother, with a super chat skipping the line. He has to say, who will be your most improved player and who do you look forward to seeing the most? I'm going Carl Lawson, Garrett Wilson, any offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookies from the Jet. I honestly think that Breece Hall has the best chance of winning offensive rookie of the year. Also, you could say Garrett Wilson. But Hall has a better chance, in my opinion, simply because of the volume of reps that he's going to get. And who's going to be improving the most? That's a good question. I would have to say Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore is going to absolutely explode this year, and the only thing that's going to hold him back is his health. If he stays healthy, I'm expecting Elijah Moore to put up numbers, especially with the playmakers around him, especially with the Zach Wilson taking a step in the right direction. And that's the player on offense that I'm expecting to be drastically improved. And another player that I think is going to be improved on the defensive side of the ball, I personally think, is going to be Quinnen Williams. I think Quinnen Williams is probably one of the most important pieces to this Jets defense, because he has not reached that 3rd overall pick potential yet. And I feel like this could be the year he does that, because, and this is not making excuses for him, but this is the reality of what he's been going through. I've always felt like Quinnen Williams is an above average defensive tackle in this league, which he is. If you look at the numbers, it backs it up. But what will make him a generational in terms of dominant wrecking ball every single game is when he has a bona fide edge rusher next to him where he has help that will open him up. Because offenses are zeroing in on Quinnen Williams, doubling him up the middle, so it's hard for Quinnen to really be dominant game in and game out. He's not Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's a different specimen. But when you give him a healthy Carl Lawson, and you give him a Jermaine Johnson, and even a Jacob Martin and Vinny Curry on the edge that are productive, that's going to only benefit Quinnen. So I'm expecting a big-time jump from Quinnen Williams this year. Q has this year to dominate or he'll be traded. He has been solid but has underachieved for a high pick he was and will want to be paid like. We can find solid so that we trade him. Listen, I feel like if he plays the same way he did this year, like an above-average defensive tackle, I don't think he's going to demand that big contract. I mean, I'd give him a contract because he's a player that is productive. You know, he's not bad. He's not a bad player. He's not a below-average player. He's an above-average defensive tackle that has not lived up to the 3rd overall hype, but that's all good because he's still productive, and I'm expecting him to be improved this year. JD, not on hot seat. He cleaned up finances, build up draft capital, and build better rep in the league. Facts. I mean, Joe Douglas is far from being on the hot seat. If the Jets win 0 games, he's not being fired this year. Like, there's no way that the ownership of the Johnsons are going to be like, yeah, we need to get rid of Joe Douglas after what he did in this draft. Like, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Lawson and Johnson are going to help Q so much. Plus, we have John Franklin Myers. Dude, John Franklin Myers might be the most underrated player on this Jets defense, low-key. Like, he is that good. Like, he is going to remind Jets fans why we extended him. Garrett Wilson's stat line, 947 yards, 8 touchdowns, 69 receptions. How about that? Is that good? Is that a good stat line for you guys? So, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream. We went live for a little over an hour talking about the New York Jets winning the draft according to the NFL media. They're all giving us A+, A-, A's, B+. It's all positive feedback from the NFL world. That's why you should be optimistic about what the Jets are doing. Guys, we'll be live tomorrow night on Dan Mitchell's channel, breaking down and getting into heated debates with the AFC East. I'm going to be talking my crap to the Dolphins fans, the Bills fans, and the Patriots fans. You're not going to want to miss it. It'll be on Dan Mitchell's channel tomorrow night. I'll give you guys a little update about it tomorrow. I got a good video coming out later today of me breaking down the new look New York Jets offense. So stay tuned for that. We'll be breaking down each player for the Jets and how the roster is shaping out on the depth chart. So stay tuned for that later on today. And I appreciate everybody tuning into the channel today and showing me love and showing me support. Don't forget to hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the show. And everybody in the chat, I appreciate you defending Jets Nation, getting into all those trolls, telling them, hey, the Jets are real. We're coming. Let them know. Everybody in the chat that represent the Jets and, of course, the Jets media, even if you're not a Jets fan, I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for 11K subscribers. That means a lot. Jacob, I appreciate you. A lot of generous donations today. Jacob, I appreciate you, my man. And keep supporting Jets Nation down over in Kentucky. Big time support. Rob, appreciate you with I saw all your comments in the show throughout this entire stream. So keep up the great work in the live chat. I love everything you always have to say, Rob, in the chat. You're very active, and I love it. And that goes for everybody in the chat. I love all of you. George, thank you for 11K. Big time support. King Jamie, appreciate you. And everybody in the chat. Jack, Brandon, Dave, everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys. So that does it for this one. Let's go Jets, and I'll catch you guys in my video later today. Peace out.